bring us all together throughout the whole world. And all of a sudden, I felt this energy. And I know you know what I'm talking about. This energy pressure went, oh, there you go. It's me. It's me. I'm supposed to do it. So that's why I'm here, is to help you and to help each and every one so we can raise the vibration of the planet. And doing that, you are a light worker. And we ask, what's a light worker? Well, you know what? A light worker is one that works with the light, works in the energy of higher vibration and helps with kindness and serenity and harmony and wants to change the world by how their vibration is, how their positivity is. And that's you. So thank you so much, Gerald Stern, for being here. So good. And oh, he's saying, get my course because he loves my course. So thank you, Gerald, for that. And it's amazing. Thank you, Gerald. And then also Zach is here. So thank you so much for being here. And you know what? I'm excited because I pick from Italy to London to New York to California to Canada, all over the world in these last 117 days for having amazing guests come on. And tonight we have an amazing guest that's coming on. And let's bring her on right now. Her name is Aminah Teachout. Yay! Welcome to the circle.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here tonight. Namaste to everybody watching, especially the gentleman already commenting. Thank you. Fun. It's actually my second time on the show, so it's really special to be involved, and double special to be involved again. You know, not only do we get to get those waves every night that you do the show, but here I am hosting with you again.
Which is awesome, and I appreciate it. And what's going on and how's things going? You know, here in Arizona, we've got mandatory masks going any place, which I came out of Colorado Springs last week, and I went into Staples yesterday because I had to get envelopes for my book because people are buying my book, yay! And I went into Staples and I didn't have a mask on. I just totally, because in Colorado it's not mandatory, and really in Colorado it was like really half and half. And I walked in, I was like, I just felt like this, oh my gosh, I'm so wrong. I'm so bad. I'm hurting people. And it's really interesting how I felt and how the looks were. And I actually just walked out and then went and got my mask and came back in because that's the energy was there. So what's going on? And oh, I'm so happy. Oh, Zach is really happy.
We're happy you're happy, Zach. Happy is better than so many sensations we could have. I'm in California, and I actually was thinking earlier today about one of the questions you've asked over these 117 days is, what would you have done differently in the days before? And I've just had this reoccurring thought over the last week, I'm pretty sure our state's going to shut down again. We're going to have another lockdown. And it's not a matter of if, but just rather when. Like, will it be before summer's end? Will it be this winter? And that's given me the sensation of, in this interlude of greater freedom that we're exploring, or it's just for me, I told many of my friends that when the reopening started so inconsistently, that all of us just needed to make our lives as small as we felt comfortable with. Some of us live with people who have autoimmune diseases, are germophobic. Some people's lives haven't actually changed radically due to COVID, but most of us have had various stressors, either for our childcare, for our health, for our access. And, socially distant is just going to be a new norm. Masking is a new norm, but I don't feel comfortable when there's, you're a expletive because you're not wearing a mask, or you're another expletive because you are wearing a mask. And it's like, when there's so much violence and misunderstanding and people feel attacked, I saw some video of a woman being told to wear a mask and explaining that she has a respiratory issue or something, but she wasn't saying, I have a issue. She's yelling at them because she's probably been told this dozens of times today, and she's triggered and traumatized, and like many, 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 many people are right now. So things are normal. I'm very lucky to live in a small town, but small towns are not immune to this, and sometimes our ignorance is even higher than cities. So we're just rolling with it. There is a mandatory mask law in California. I think it's fairly well enforced. There's also a lot of poor masking going on, and I'm a very symbolic masker. I will wear it when I'm obligated to, but it's very uncomfortable to breathe in. And over time, it's that probably not healthy to breathe in for too long. And I know some people have to work 8-hour shifts in a mask. And to those people, I want you to really reoxygenate and make time. Like I'm a big proponent of taking personal days if you need them. If you need to take 10 minutes to like reoxygenate, you need to work that out with your supervisor, because that's going to help everybody. And if you personally need it, like one woman much younger than me said, I have a mild headache all day because of this. And that's not acceptable. That's where this conversation really does need to go. I think one of the biggest triumphs we've had here in California is that San Bernardino County, the county I live in, and neighboring counties, unless I'm mistaken, have declared racism a public health crisis. And this is really fundamental. This is helpful to just breaking some of the intersectional barriers there are to making positive change in our country. But now we have to hold the counties responsible and accountable for that. So they're asking that the school boards roll out that same kind of declaration, and that at a community-based level, we can get some grievances and make justice happen in a real way. So that's exciting, but it's hard because people don't. This has to do with inflammation. This has to do with trauma. This has to do with stress. And so that's why it's such a victory that we're calling racism a public health crisis. That's why it's so huge. But then when people really sit at the table and are like, okay, let's solve it, we're talking about inflammation. We're talking about trauma. We're talking about stress. We're also talking about, anger and rage and a whole lot of other more complicated emotions. I mean, when you've done the work, when you've accepted the history, when you've, figured out the ways in which you're blind and don't really know or don't really feel, that's when you get to, okay, a lot of trauma, a lot of I
love how you just said that, because it's so true, because accepting the past. And I was just talking to a good friend of mine last night about that, is that people are still angry about the past and about, oh my God, how could you even be? And I grew up in kind of a racist, I remember that it was kind of racist when I grew up. I didn't know the difference. They didn't know the difference. I've accepted that that's what my parents were taught. That's how it was. That was a norm. But we can't get angry. And it was interesting talking to a friend of mine, because I was like, Miss Donna, being angry about that isn't getting us anywhere now, because that's how it was. And to accept, like you said, to accept that is also helping with your self-confidence, your energy to move forward. And it is about education. I'm really, and I know that sounds great, it does, but I'm glad that we reopened this wound, actually, to really heal it, to
see the progress, that this was a human rights issue, maybe started when astronauts saw our little planet from the sky, that the civil rights movement was by no means a success, nor was the work done. And by all means, that was the education that I received, the successes and triumphs of the civil rights era. And it's not until very recently that we've had a national psyche willing to accept not just failures, but systemic victories against those we've written to apparently uplift through our civil rights. But it's encouraging, because one individual can't change a system. Systems change systems. And so individuals get to work together, and mind-body education has always been what's closest to my heart. And so I stand in solidarity with what's going on regarding BLM and other things, the loss of these very innocent people, with this idea that this is my service to eco-justice too, that like physical stress in the human family is an enemy to me. So if this is the conversation that's going to let us change the systems that create the stress and create the separation, the exhaustion, the fatigue, the fear, then let's ride forward and make sure that everybody understands how to serve on an intersectional way.
It's a beautiful, way to put that. Interdimensional, absolutely in that way. I love, and I'm so encouraged by the kids, the millennials. And I remember even 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, doing this metaphysical stuff, with the Reiki and the chakras and getting all into this and the energy, and everybody thinking I had 3 heads, and me thinking, wow, I can't wait for in 20 years when the kids get it. The kids get it. Like your kid, your kid is like, what, 5?
4, yeah.
And just think, he's never going to know how it really is to be free in some other ways, like at the airport, at certain, so much has been taken. But his kids, wow, what is his kids? And that's what I'm hopeful for, is his kids, there's not going to be any racial, because it's not even going to be an issue.
This is, it's so true that the imagination will actually have to stretch, because these problems can't be solved in the existing systems. And so without a doubt, transformations of our consciousness and our mind bodies are not separate. What's the quote about the raindrop in the ocean? The universal awakening is the same as individual awakening. So that's happening on this beautiful scale, without a doubt. But we're also being forced to mobilize and activate in whole new ways. I've had visceral parallels to my life in 2012 this year. And I find that a lot of the people I'm vibing with made some pretty radical changes in their life during 2012 too. And, there's a whole political level around election year cycles, but there's also a real deeper birthing energy that I think is coming forth, that people who have been teetering on the edge of a particular field or a particular health condition or a particular way of looking at something, that view is breaking. And so, to stretch the imagination, a woman in my life said that, what I want isn't possible. How do you think this will happen? And the way that I was actually able to make progress with her was not at all around racial bias or cultural justice or anything like that. It was actually about how much better her healthcare would be if, when she walked into her house, like Alexa worked with a team of doctors, and like maybe the house took her temperature. And she just kind of opened. And it's like, this is the way, when these structures break, new beautiful things come of it. And we could have been doing telemedicine and telehealth a lot more than we've been doing, ladies and gentlemen, just like people could have been working remotely a lot more than they could have been doing. And people said we can't fathom that. And then we had to, and it went pretty stinking good. Brush your shoulders off, office dwellers. You've impressed me. Like, come on. We need to demand more of our systems. And I felt like that was what made me change careers in 2012, because I had never been an ADHD or AD person. I had never been on a spectrum of any sort. I was always a highly performing, happy human, with my mood swings that came from my life. But otherwise, I was not. And it was just sitting in this posture, this one, with all that stress and all these like Excel sheets. And I love Excel sheets, but it was the concept of not having a shared document to work with the users in. Tangent, but still, these are real demands. Somebody's time is being spent fixing things or rearranging things or duplicating things because someone has not invited the system to be more open, more cooperative, more smart.
So true. Rebirth, you said that. That's so true. And then inviting the different systems and just keeping us in. I mean, all of this, I know here the pollution is so much better here than it used to be because we don't have as many cars going. And I really feel, remember, you that are listening out there, if you're feeling alone, you're looking at your bank account, you're looking at the refrigerator, you're wondering what is going to happen. I hear you. We're here for you. And that's why we're here and why I started this whole thing, and is to help with just doing a meditation that might calm you down for 10 minutes and to offer you these wonderful people from all over the world to help with meditations and help with all of their different light workers that they do, and to reach out and ask for help. So, you know what? We're going to do this right now. As Aminah, if you're ready,
I'm ready.
In those waves of energy we're in, and everybody just get real comfortable. And I don't want you to think about, I got to send this to my aunt and I got to send this to, I don't want you to think about that. All I want you to do is be in, because Aminah, and that's why I had her back on the show. She is just amazing. I mean, I've had one-on-one yoga with her, and we're going to do another one, and over Zoom, and her meditation's just, whoa. So relax, rejuvenate, reconnect. Here you go, Aminah. I'll be back in a few.
Thank you so much, Angel. And thank you to our loving viewers and all that will see the replay. I do not underestimate the ability for you to hold a really valuable space for your own body and for our whole world in these few minutes that we have together. So if you need to look at the screen and stay connected to me, that's fine. But I really strongly encourage you to start to notice the energy on the back of the eyes, notice the energy of the tongue, and start to take a couple of deep breaths here to synchronize our energy together. And I know that if finances are overwhelming, if romantic issues are unsatisfying, if friendship is being stressed, if career or childcare are uncertain, that these are profoundly destabilizing experiences, and that your heart space is just fighting to be, right? That those stability features in your life, where your income comes from, who you can rely on when you need to rest, when you need to communicate, this stuff matters profoundly. So just take a moment at the onset of our meditation, as you're noticing your breath, as you're noticing your body sitting on the surface that it is, trying to give space to your shoulders. Right? Also give space to the ways in which your needs are personally met now. Right? And know that you're not alone. Thank goodness you're not alone in many of those needs being met. And for better or worse, you're not alone in some essential needs maybe not being met. And in whatever emotion emerges in the body, you should just place yourself on a spectrum of safety, on a spectrum of strength, on a spectrum of happiness. And even in that 3-step gesture of just placing yourself on a spectrum of safety, of strength, and of happiness, we've tapped into that special part, that part of us that is us no matter how we feel. Right? The part of us that emerges when we don't attach to the thought, the meditative self. So start to use these breaths to get a relationship with the meditative self here, even if it's just 3 exhales. And invite any emotion. If your meditative self is carrying a lot of weight today, be there for that. Let the waves just kind of ebb around you, right? And if it brings a sensation of pride or joy or wholeness, I mean, really elevate that. Maybe envision the smile or create it on your face. Because that will just let your waves be even more steady and more resilient. So now that you've cultivated a relationship with the breath, return to the breath if the mind strays in any way. We'll spend a little time just acknowledging the waves of energy. You might feel them as points of tension or tightness because it's hard to hold still. But you might also feel them in your heart. It's nice to take deep breaths and listen to the body. So in whatever way is comfortable for you, to just begin to extend them outward so that the space around you is positive, that your mind might travel to those you occupy space with, work with, live near, know of, admire. Right, include yourself as a reflection of all of those people. By sending them love, it's shining back at you. And start to allow your waves, seeing them clearly if you can, lift beyond this day-to-day one dimension that we have to kind of see that positive intention that you have, and trust that you're not alone in this meditation tonight at all. Right? My little bubble, angel's bubble, countless bubbles, all anchored in our heart space. So let us do some work from this meditative space for our chakras, for our energies. And I'm just going to say some phrases, some awesome I am affirmations. And you're going to let them wash over your body, maybe quietly repeating them in your space, maybe visualizing a color or a vibration that comes with them. So to fuel this works, go ahead and meet through an exhale. Let the inhale gradually fill you up, finding your breath. I am safe. I am safe. I am strong. I am strong. I am happy. I am happy. And these three affirmations, they work on top of one another. They build, right? Safety, strength, happiness. You're worthy of all three of these. You deserve all three of these. There is a perfectly suited way of being these for you. So we'll begin to reinforce that work, starting to close our meditation gradually by actually placing the hands onto the hips, maybe the low back if that's better for you, just physically touching the body. And using the inhale to draw in that first affirmation, I am safe. Yeah, saying it out loud, exactly. Letting it through the exhale, just reaffirm. The more that we travel these affirmations in our minds, the more likely the mind is to return to them. So drawing your hands onto the belly, it's okay if there's a lot of extra flesh there, right? The quarantine 15 has affected many and our physical bodies transform. So really don't attach to any negative thought that might be present, and then start to look for the ribs. Right? If you can feel the rib cage, let that be the destination for your hands as you again focus into the breath and take our second affirmation, I am strong. I am strong. Right? Feeling the words come out of your mouth and resonate through your body. Placing hands on your heart. I am happy. And this is particularly important if you're maybe not in an optimistic mood, if you don't identify as happy. It's powerful to say it anyways. I am happy. And if you can reach your arms around you and just give yourself a nice big hug, maybe draw your chin in if it feels nice. Move as much as you need. We're just going to shift that energy outside of ourselves so that our final rounds of breath are to wish others safety. May those I know be safe. May those who know those I know be safe. May those who inspire anyone be safe. Just be with this wave of safety. Let it find strangers who don't think it can find them. Right? Let your energy emit safety to those who need it most. And then when you feel ready to do so, we'll transition into that second affirmation, strength. Right? Just sit up a little taller, take that deep breath inward. Let your strength emit beyond you, whether that's just in your household, in your neighborhood, in your zip code, in your time zone, in your hemisphere. Just washing your own energy while contributing to that of a collective healing, a global liberation. Strength. And we don't do any more work from there. We just start to float. If your body's felt uncomfortable, give it space to be heard here. Smile. The last affirmation we send out effortlessly is that of happiness. So may I be happy. May you be happy. May all beings on earth be happy. Feel worthy of happiness. Then know that returning to it can be as simple as taking a few breaths to connect with our meditative state. And from that meditative state, we have to awaken, but we can always return. And thank you for letting me be your guide, Angel, and so many others. Your waves of healing are felt and so necessary. And we must fill our own cup, but once we start to fill it with the right thing, we know. We know how to serve others.
And it is all about that service, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it fills us. I love how you put all of the safeness. I am safe. I am strong. Because many are not feeling strong. They're not feeling safe. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling pissed off at like, when is this going to end? So thank you, because that energy, that vibration, I really believe is very powerful. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angel. I do believe that yoga instructors help lubricate difficult conversations, difficult experiences, and this is just one at a human scale. So I'm so grateful to work with you and your Lightworkers to embrace the way in which yoga too reflects this light. And myself, I'm reaching towards mentors in Ayurveda. So we're just all a network of healing working together. And I appreciate the space you provide. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you to everybody here that's putting thank yous and on the replay. I really appreciate it. So now it's time for us to sing and dance to get the shine on. Go.
Yes. Sorry, I almost forgot.
Are you ready? Now, I really want you to pay attention to these words, because these words are powerful. I wrote them. I sing it. It's about the shine on movement, about raising your vibration. And that's what we're doing. Get
the book, ladies and gentlemen. It's worth it. It's a great book.
You got ambition, fire and soul. Look within your heart. Let your spirit flow. Ask for what you want. Show them what you got. Take you to the top. Don't you ever stop. Shine. Everybody! Shine. Shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine. Yeah! Shine. Shine. Looking for the answers, seeking you will find. Open up your heart, leave it all behind. Smile and laugh, always give back. Glowing like a star, show them who you are. Shine, shine, shine on.
Shine on.
Vibration. Shine, shine on. Yeah! You're the secret, you're the answer. You know who you are.
You.
Then you breathe and focus. You're a shining star. Shine, shine, shine on. Raise your vibration. Shine, shine, shine on. Yeah. Don't you worry, don't you forget, be just just who you are.
You're
The answer to the question. You're that shining star. You're the star. You're the star. Raise your vibration. Shine.
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 Shine. Now that you can see all that you can feel, breathe into your heart. Don't you ever stop. Shine. Shine.
Shine.
Shine on. Raise your vibration.
Shine.
Shine. Shine on. Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
I need that earlier in my day for my morning cardio.
It is, you know? And people ask me, Angel, do you listen to your song a lot? And it's like, you know what? When I'm feeling whatever, I put it on, and those words get me. Always give back. Ask for what you want. Breathe and focus. Smile and laugh. You know, you are the shining star. Who says that you're not? You're the one that says it. You're the one that gets it. That song was written for the Shine On movement. Yes, this is part of the Shine On movement, which is raising your vibration in such a way that it affects the world. Isn't that just so easy? But we get in our head and we're scared about life, huh?
Fire book, friends. It's well designed. I pick it up anytime I'm at all unshiny. And you'll see I'm pretty shiny. You know, she teaches you how to keep your shine, not just how to find your shine, how to love your shine, but how to keep your shine.
Yes. And that's what I like. It's not ever find your shine, it's ignite it, because you never lost it. It's
Right?
always in you.
Yeah.
Always there. But like we were talking about, it's about the gut. It's about moving into that. So that was
Shine on, shake it.
yeah, do the
Good show.
shine on.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Love everybody. See you Friday for another show, which DJ Camus is going to be on. He's a world famous artist, and he has a chakra heart meditation that I've done with him before that it ignites a crystal. It's really, it's pretty major. So I'm excited on Friday night for that one. And then we'll have the daily dose. And then we have Tai Chi on Friday. So I will see you then. Thank you, Aminah. I always love having you because you just
thank you.
see. And I'll see you this week, and we'll do some yoga, and you teach me some new things. I'm excited.
Love it.
So remember to change your mindset, energize your life, and shine on.
Shine on.
Thank you for watching the replay. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.